Welcome to another lecture. Today, let us explore the life and career of Jon Hamm, an actor whose path from precarious auditions to prestige television stardom provides a near textbook example of how talent, timing, and institutional risk can align to reshape a medium. I am Alexei. Thank you for joining us. We shall proceed with a structural overview before moving into deeper questions.
Hi, I'm Priyanka. I work with Professor Alexei and I will try to ask the deceptively simple questions we all quietly have.
Let's begin with the foundations. Jon Hamm, born in 1971 in St. Louis, Missouri, is best known for portraying Don Draper in AMC's Mad Men from 2007 to 2015. In simpler terms, he became the face of a series that helped define the prestige TV era. And he did so with a performance critics praised for its paradoxical blend of cool exterior and inner fracture. Beyond Draper, he has worked fluidly in drama and comedy, taken on high-profile film roles from The Town to Baby Driver to Top Gun Maverick, and built a parallel career in voice work for animation and advertising, including Mercedes-Benz and American Airlines. In technical terms, Hamm's significance resides in how his marquee role advanced episodic character development at a time when television reasserted itself as a primary site of adult narrative art. Character development here refers to the systematic evolution of a persona across episodes and seasons, with accumulated backstory, contradictions, and behavioral patterns. His contribution exemplifies how consistent long-form acting choices make a fictional figure feel lived in. Likewise, his voiceover work illustrates how an actor's vocal timbre and timing can transfer brand identity across media, a case study in effective signaling where the voice functions as both narrative instrument and commercial signature.
So, I think the stakes are that he did not just play a famous role. He changed what we expect from TV leads. And he is still relevant, with Fargo in 2023, Grimsburg in 2024, and a new Apple TV Plus series in 2025. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it's important to understand that he matters today, because he navigated the post-prestige landscape rather than being defined solely by it. He toggled back to ensembles in film, moved into streaming with The Morning Show and Fargo's fifth season, expanded voice roles with Transformers One, and executive produced Grimsburg. Historically, a misunderstanding persisted that he was too handsome for complex leads. Initial skepticism from Mad Men's creators turned into recognition that the very polished skeptics feared could be a mask for deeper conflict. This inversion became the engine of Draper's appeal. On to our next point, the basic history. Hamm's early life involved significant instability. He lost his mother at 10 and his father by 20. Experiences he later acknowledged drawing upon to calibrate Don Draper's concealed sorrow. He attended the University of Texas, became entangled in a 1990 hazing incident, for which he admitted to hazing under a deferred adjudication plea. Assault charges were subsequently dismissed, and the Sigma Nu chapter was disbanded. He left UT, transferred to the University of Missouri, acted on stage, graduated with a BA in English in 1993, and even returned to teach acting to 8th graders at his former school. One of his students was Ellie Kemper. Professionally, he moved to Los Angeles in 1995, waited tables, did theater, and, as part of that familiar patchwork economy, briefly worked as a set decorator on a softcore film. Representation came and went. William Morris dropped him in 1998. He set a personal countdown to age 30. Just as the clock ran down, he notched roles in Space Cowboys in 2000, Kissing Jessica Stein in 2001, and We Were Soldiers in 2002. Providence on NBC expanded to 19 episodes, and the division sustained him. Then in 2007, AMC took a risk on a relative unknown for Mad Men, a choice that earned him 2 Golden Globes, in 2008 and again later in 2016, and, after many nominations, the 2015 Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series.
And the range after that is notable. Bridesmaids in 2011 for comedy, The Town in 2010 for crime drama, Baby Driver in 2017, Top Gun Maverick in 2022, then voice roles like Shrek Forever After in 2010, Minions in 2015, and Transformers 1 in 2024. Plus ads for Mercedes-Benz since 2010, American Airlines in 2013, that Apple TV Plus self-aware spot in 2022, and Progressive with Flow that same year. And he publicly completed treatment for alcoholism in 2015. He developed vitiligo during the first season of Mad Men. He quit smoking at 24 and used herbal cigarettes on set. Also, sports and hometown ties. He narrated the 2011 St. Louis Cardinals World Series film and hit a home run in the 2012 celebrity softball game. Politically, he supported President Obama in 2012, did a campus sexual assault PSA in 2014, appeared at a 2016 fundraiser for Hillary Clinton, narrated a 2023 Lucas Kuntz ad in Missouri, and endorsed Adam Schiff in 2024.
This then brings us to a personal note. In academia, we often endure long plateaus punctuated by decisive moments, grant awards, a well-placed paper, an institutional hire. Hamm's deadline at 30, his years waiting tables, and the eventual alignment with AMC mirror the patience and practice familiar to many of us who have revised a manuscript 12 times before the 13th proves decisive. Let's transition to another aspect. 3 questions to structure our deeper inquiry. First, the historical challenge of being cast as Don Draper. Second, a counterfactual concerning what might have happened had he not landed the role. Third, a present-day question about opportunities and constraints in the current industry ecology. For question 1, the lead-up is straightforward. Hamm was talented, yet frequently read older than his age in early auditions. Not ideal for the youthful archetypes being cast in the late 1990s. He was even dropped by his agency. When Mad Men emerged, creator Matthew Weiner and director Alan Taylor reportedly thought he might be too handsome. They feared the surface would eclipse subtext. Multiple auditions followed in which Hamm articulated a disciplined approach to Draper, a man whose immaculate exterior concealed a fault line. AMC, eager to define its identity, took the risk on an unknown rather than import a pre-sold star persona. The rest is, as we say, the published record.
Professor, what challenges did Jon Hamm face in being cast as Don Draper?
Several, and they are instructive. First, industrial skepticism. An actor with limited name recognition at a moment when cable networks often craved recognizable leads. Second, phenotype bias. He was read as too polished, which paradoxically would become an asset. Third, the career timing problem. Years of near misses had created a rational doubt about whether the next audition could change anything at scale. His solution was to present not only a reading, but a theory of the character, a persuasive map of how charisma and vulnerability could cohabit. That conceptual clarity mitigated the risk perception.
Professor Alexei, could you clarify how his personal experiences influenced the role?
In simpler terms, lived grief made Draper's grief legible. Having lost both parents by 20, Hamm knew how outward competence can coexist with private absence. He has said he drew on memories of his father to calibrate Draper's mask, steady, winning, yet fissured. That is why the performance registers as controlled rather than ornamental. The stillness has content. Now question 2, a counterfactual. Consider the early 2000s credits as a vector. Without Mad Men in 2007, we can infer a continued presence in supporting television roles and procedurals. More comedy guest turns given his evident aptitude, later seen on 30 Rock, and an earlier, perhaps deeper pivot into voiceover and commercial narration. He already possessed the vocal profile that brands prize. Indeed, he became the US voice of Mercedes-Benz in 2010. Feature roles like The Town in 2010 may have been less likely or smaller, absent the Draper halo, though not impossible. Casting ecologies are networked but not deterministic.
Professor, what if Jon Hamm had not been cast in Mad Men? How might his career have unfolded?
He likely would have sustained a career across television guest arcs, comedic supporting parts, and substantial voiceover, with producing perhaps arriving via small independent projects. The ceiling without a signature lead could have resembled the respected working actor archetype, rather than cultural linchpin. Not obscurity, rather steady visibility diffused across platforms. The key difference is that Mad Men concentrated audience attention, enabling later choices to be interpreted as range, rather than random sampling.
Professor, how significant was AMC's decision to cast him over established names?
In simple terms, decisive for both parties. AMC's risk-taking conferred authorship to the network. We remember not just a show, but a channel that dared. For Hamm, being chosen from over 80 candidates generated a permission structure. He did not have to announce he could carry a series. He demonstrated it for 7 seasons. That evidence base then traveled with him to films, streaming ensembles, and comedy, protecting him from typecasting precisely because the type he embodied was complexity itself. Question 3. The present landscape. The current market is fragmented. Prestige is now a crowded category, and the streaming economy demands both brand reliability and novelty. Hamm's opportunities include continued leadership in limited series. Your Friends and Neighbors in 2025 restores him to a lead canvas, and intriguingly, a scene from it became a viral meme, which indicates cross-generational reach. He is also expanding as a producer on Grimsburg. Voice roles remain robust with Transformers 1, and he maintains a high recognition coefficient through ongoing ad campaigns.
Professor Alexei, what are the current challenges or opportunities for him in today's entertainment landscape?
Challenges first. 1. Differentiation. Many actors now have prestige series on their resumes, so new work must read as additive rather than iterative. 2. Platform volatility. Shows migrate or vanish amid corporate restructuring, so consistent audience contact sometimes relies on advertising and voiceover as the stable spine. 3. Political visibility. He has engaged publicly in Democratic-aligned advocacy, which can be principled and also polarizing. Opportunities mirror these constraints. He can leverage a voice brand that travels across platforms, attached to auteur-driven limited series like Fargo that refresh his dramatic capital, and develop projects under his producing umbrella to control tone and timescale.
Professor, is there a particular direction you think he should explore next?
Arguably 2 vectors. First, a contemporary limited series that weaponizes his comedic precision within a dramatic chassis. Think a legal or political thriller with sardonic narration that exploits his voice as an in-world instrument rather than only an external narrator. Second, curated nonfiction. His sports narrations for the Cardinals and the St. Louis Browns suggest a lane for premium documentaries where hometown authority and national appeal coincide. It is worth noting that further research into emerging media platforms, inclusive of audio fiction, interactive series, and the evolving economics of streaming windows would inform optimal placement of such projects.
Before we wrap, can we quickly note some curiosities? He hosted Saturday Night Live in 2008 and twice in 2010, then returned in 2025 after many cameos. He voiced The Simpsons in 2010. He led Confess Fletch in 2022 to good reviews. And his personal life intersected art when he married Anna Osceola in 2023 at the Big Sur site used in the Mad Men finale where she had appeared.
Indeed. And for completeness, note a small bibliographic wrinkle. His early leading film Stolen is sometimes dated 2009 and sometimes 2010, depending on release pathway. He stopped smoking at 24, and the show used herbal cigarettes to maintain period verisimilitude without nicotine. Small but telling details of craft and care. To summarize, Jon Hamm's journey runs from a St. Louis childhood marked by loss, through precarious years in Los Angeles, to a definitive role that helped codify the grammar of prestige television. He diversified with equal parts drama and comedy, parlayed a distinctive voice into animation and advertising, engaged in civic discourse, and continues to navigate streaming-era complexities with a mix of acting and producing. Our 3 questions recapped. First, the casting challenge. He overcame doubts through conceptual clarity and an audition strategy that made surface and depth mutually reinforcing. Second, the counterfactual. Without Mad Men, we likely would have seen a steadier but more diffuse career, heavy in voiceover and supporting turns. Third, the present tense. Fragmentation poses risks, but targeted limited series, documentary narration, and producer-led development create durable lanes. For further study, consider how prestige television altered labor markets for actors in the 2007 to 2015 window and beyond. Specifically, how long-form character arcs recalibrated audience tolerance for ambiguity. This, then, completes our present analysis. Thank you for listening, and as always, keep reading the footnotes even when the font is small.
Thank you, Professor. And thanks to everyone for listening. That was helpful to think through, actually.